What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Triangl. This is your boy, D.
And it's your girl, CJ.
And it's Dorinda's gay lover, Brandy. There's a story behind that. I'll share it later. I'll tell you now. Hold on. Let me get someone to drink. Hold on. Hold on.
There's a squeak.
I had to get the squeak in. So me and Dorinda used to be like super best friends, but I think I more so probably had like a sick obsession with Dorinda. Let my mom tell it. Because she felt like, because my mom's cutthroat, she felt like it was too ridiculous to be upset about friends in high school or middle school, because she's like, you're probably never going to talk to these people again. But you know, when you grow up as a military brat, any military brats listening, your friends become your family.
Yeah, you connect.
Dorinda was like my first black girlfriend. I was like, oh my God. So when we started beefing because she decided to be a bitch.
There it is.
That's what I recall. I remember crying to my mom, and my mom told me later on in life she thought it was because I was gay and I like had fell in love with Dorinda.
Wow.
That was her only explanation. I said, so it couldn't have been me just really being hurt about a friend. That didn't make sense to you, but gay made more that made more sense to her. So apparently we're gay lovers. She doesn't have a choice.
Well, I can hear your mom saying it.
She did. And I was like, what?
That's terrible. Oh my God. So anyway, welcome. Apparently Brandy's gay lover / jack of all trades and master of some, Miss Dorinda.
Yay.
Did you guys graduate the same year too? Yeah.
And we're all 04.
All 04. Gosh,
everybody's better.
God, here we go.
Your old ass.
Not here we go. No, damn, CJ.
Ass.
I don't look a day over 30. Thank you.
But CJ is young. You graduated early. Like
I did. I graduated when I was 17. My senior year, I was 16, so I had just
she's
turned.
almost there with us. She's not.
That's why CJ was always like above it all. Like, I just can't.
Always.
Just terrible.
Always.
Because it's so immature.
Listen.
It's like you're 2 years older than us. Fuck up.
Wait. Are you guys aren't 36, right? 35?
I'm 34. He's 34.
I'm 34.
Right?
Yeah, see, I'm about to be 38 this year. I'm a few years.
Okay, 3 fucking years.
We don't fucking care. The point is, it's on site when we see you. That's the point.
Oh my God. Not on site. Wait a minute. I'm not leaving my house anymore. Not that I can. Anywho.
Okay, Karen. She's like, I'm calling the cops.
She did say that. That's what I heard, D. That's what I heard. She gonna be screaming, don't touch me.
Ain't nobody scared of you. You just all bark. You all bark. You be all right.
Okay. Your brother know I'm barking bite. Okay.
Oh no.
Can't wait till he's back on the show. Can't wait. Anywho, we are off task from the first 3 minutes in. Oh my God, let me talk. God damn. You're listening to this? Sorry. No, they not sorry. Anyway, so
really
this episode is going to air a couple days before Juneteenth, I believe. Right?
Juneteenth.
Yeah. So we wanted to bring Miss Dorinda on because she has a bunch of businesses, kind of like my major hustles. How many do you have right now that you're working on?
1, 2, 3 right now.
3 right now. Yeah, see, I got like 3 or 4 right now too. And I think it was really important to like bring up some business related stuff because the economy is like fluctuating hardcore right now because businesses have been closed so long. A lot of people who work at places are still out of work. I think you're barely going back.
I think I'm going back sometime soon. Maybe.
I know. I saw that some of the casinos were opening back up, so I'm assuming that you're going back soon too, right?
Yeah, they're opening us up slowly, and they're bringing us back by order of seniority, like house seniority.
Oh, okay.
So, and I've been with that company for almost 5 years. But there's a lot of people that have been there longer than me, so they're bringing me back.
You started to sound like a Decepticon a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening with the world today because apparently T-Mobile and a few other carriers had issues.
Tell me about it.
No texting. Rob had to call me on the Facebook app so that he could like go through data instead of like the phone.
That's weird.
I know, it is weird. So our main, I guess, do you wanna give us a little origin story, Dorinda, of like what type of businesses you're doing? If you can talk about all of it. I know our main one might end up being the t-shirt thing, but if you got the other stuff, and also if you want to talk about the job you have too. So what do you do? Or your 9 to 5?
Jizzy.
So my 9 to 5, I work at a jazz lounge. So
Ooh.
I
knew it was a jazzy jizzy. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't cut you off. You look like one of those types.
There.
You're the manager there?
Yeah. So I wait tables.
Operations.
Everything. It's a small business, and it's a Black-owned business also.
Nice. Gotcha.
Yeah. Woman.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Can you shout them out? Are you allowed to put the name out there?
You know what? I don't even know. I didn't even ask her.
Ask her, and if she's cool, we'll post it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll see.
Oh.
I always take pictures with the artists. So.
And they're so good. Like the artists that come there, they be fine men. And I really enjoy the pictures she posts.
Oh, no, I'm gonna
How long have you been there?
Since it's been a year now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So you've been there a minute. So what about your other 3, I think, entrepreneurial businesses that you've started on the side there?
My next main one is Lucinda's Creations. So actually me and my mom do that together.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh.
It started off as a hobby. I learned how to do embroidery in high school.
Okay.
And then we went down, the parents were like, oh, you need to go to school, but I always knew I wanted to own my own business.
Gotcha.
So from embroidery to vinyl to just doing different arts and crafts. And that's my main one right now. My other one is still in the books. So that one will come out sooner than later. So I won't talk too much about
that's
it.
Cool.
Come on, secret projects.
You gotta tell us everything. That's cool. That's all right.
But yes, and I do a little bit of fitness on the side.
Oh, okay. So you do have a lot of stuff
No,
on.
it's not just any type of fitness.
What kind of fitness?
Can do pole fitness. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a huge chunk you shouldn't have left out for this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to know that it was pole fitness.
It's pole. Get it right.
It's been a while since I've taught classes, but I used to teach pole fitness on the regular.
I want to learn.
Right?
It's fun. It's fun.
I want to do the slow motion walk like around the pole because that shit looks so hard.
I think that's where I have to leave it because I'll be gonna tear your whole club down if I'm trying to do my big ass up on that pole. All the walls is coming down for me, my big ass.
I've seen big girls like me all up on it too.
And they be
talk about niggas like me. You talking about big girls like me? Big girls like me. Shut your itty bitty ass up. My big ass be to tear your whole club down. I need a titanium.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Oh my god.
I don't know. Okay, so this is gonna be a hard question. If you had to pick, like, what's your favorite thing that you're doing out of those 4 things right now?
My favorite?
Yeah. If you had to choose and narrow it down, and like tomorrow somebody said you had to pick one and focus on it, and that's all you can do forever, what would it be?
I'll stick with the designing shirts and
doing
crafts. I'll do Lucinda's Creation.
Does that make you?
With me.
Now, is that something you have like a website for and you're selling online, or is it more of a like you go through and like showcase first and then sell, like through your Instagram and things like that?
A lot of it is just I'll do shirts and showcase them a little bit, but a lot of it is just people coming up and saying, "Hey, I need some shirts designed."
Okay.
Like, shirts or just single shirts. Our motto is "You say it, we display it."
Oh, so, that's cute.
I like that a lot.
We're like,
that's cute. No, word of mouth is a big thing, I think, too, especially like in Black society too, because if you are having like a business where you make food and somebody tells somebody that you can't fry chicken, they're not gonna do any good,
right? Because
it doesn't matter how good your website looks or anything like that, because word of mouth is like serious for them. Do you have like any other businesses that you've done that you like completely failed at and just left alone? Because I know I have a few like that too. Look at her, she's like
plenty. So I did a lot of direct sales.
Okay.
People come to me and be like, "Oh, you have the personality, you learn quickly."
Mm-hmm.
So I've sold candles, I've sold adult toys and all that. I've still kind of have on the side clothing. Have you heard of LuLaRoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done that a little bit, but you know, with the change in time, I'm kind of crafting my businesses a little towards us.
Oh yeah, gotcha. No, I totally think
And for
that.
those that can't like see her, she black.
She means
You know
crafting her
what?
business towards the Black economy.
So
is
the
what she means.
coloreds.
No, Sue, not the coloreds. Gosh, always saying stuff. One day somebody's just gonna like randomly listen to our podcast and not know that we're all brown and black.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna be like, these racists. I've had people do it at the job, and I'm like, I'm of color, ma'am. You can't say that to me.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Like, so what's like your favorite thing to do? Like, let's say for your design and shirt business, like, do you have like certain clients that you do repeatedly, or is it more like, you know, I know you said like when people ask you do it for them, but do you do nonprofit? Is it all for profit? Do you eventually want to like get things like a storefront, or do you want to keep it online? I know that was a lot of questions. I'm sorry.
Well, I eventually want a storefront.
Okay, gotcha.
And I live in a small town, so we need as much business as possible. So I would like to get a storefront eventually. But I like the kind of online, just person to person, face to face dealings.
And she's so cute. I could totally see her like having her storefront and being out there like old girl from Princess and the Frog. And it's like, I want to give her my money because she's cute.
You're gonna be singing and twirling while embroidering things.
She would, and then putting this out there too for anybody listening and needing encouragement. She's doing all this shit and raising a whole ass human being as well. So
that part,
you can do it. Like don't limit yourself. Because I think it's easy for you can do it. It's easy for parents to do, especially single parents, where you're like, I just don't have the time. And she's out here doing multiple things. So do you ever get questions about how you balance that, or tell us how you work that out and get that going?
It's hard. Like
Straight
tonight,
up.
I told her, I was like, Sanaya, mommy has to do something tonight, so you have to go to bed early. So she was like, okay, mommy, sure. Well, let's go skate. Okay. And I'm ready, okay? So my whole room has hardwood floor. So we skate in the room. We got our skate. We skate in the room. So she's like, okay, we skate. She took her bath. She's like, okay, I'll go read my books and I'll go to sleep. So about 10, 15 minutes, she peeked out the door. Mommy, what are you doing? I was like, she's like, she sees my setup. She's like, are you in a meeting? Maybe. And she's like, are you talking to God, Mommy Brandy?
Aw, yay!
Not going yet. She's like, oh, okay. I was like, well, you gonna go to bed? And she's like, yeah, I guess I'll go to bed.
Oh, so how old is she?
She's 4.
Oh, same. They don't get it.
Your daughters are the same level of ridiculous.
I know your daughter popped into a podcast one day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that they will be best friends."
Oh my God, why are they like that though? They don't fucking get it when you're just like, I just said 5 minutes ago, you just agreed, and here you are 10 seconds later.
Not you just agreed. I like how you're trying to apply that logic to a 4-year-old.
You can't. You obviously cannot. It doesn't.
You remember that you can't. Like they're still 4 years old. They're just like, yeah, and I don't care. What
you're like, keep your word, and they're like, what?
Keep your word.
Tell me to keep my word. I took her like, you're gonna read one book tonight. She's like, but you told me I can read 2 months. Read the book.
Oh, they disappeared. He'll be back. Don't worry about it.
He always comes back.
He always comes back. So I guess my other question is, I know you said you're in a smaller town. Is it predominantly one majority of race or another by chance?
I would say it's a good mixture. But it's also a mixture, and I'm in the South.
Okay, gotcha. So is it more black or more white predominantly? Would you have to say?
I would say it's still more white.
It is more white down there. So my follow-up is, does that affect your business in any way or how you advertise? Because, you know, there's so many Black-owned businesses with so much great stuff going on, but a lot of them do not get play. You know what I mean? Like, I just joined a group on Facebook, which just got like 200,000 people in just our area, and people have been craving for Black businesses. So that happened, and it's like I got follows just joining it, which is crazy to me because people are looking for it. Like, do you have any like adversity that you had to like face off on with that? Like, just wearing that Juneteenth t-shirt, I feel like if you wore it out and it's the majority is a white area, they would be like, I think white people don't even know what Juneteenth is most of the time. So
probably not, but it right now it doesn't make a big difference because this is our first time kind of getting into Juneteenth ourselves.
Okay, gotcha.
So but a lot of our town is family. So regardless if it's Black or white, like this is our home. Like everybody's from here. So it's not that bad in this area.
Gotcha. That's nice though. It's bad where I'm at. Texas. it's a little rough out there. Is that like that where you guys are too, Brandy? Like, cause I know you in Ohio, so it's majority white folks, right? Where you're at?
Well, where I live, yes. But it's different to where I like hang out and go, because then I'll see more of a mixed group or more like us, but it's because I purposely do that.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, but because even in Nebraska, it's like that. You have to purposely find.
Right, you have to purposely go. So then your worldview ends up being, well, it seems mixed and diverse because you're making it that way. You're being intentional about your world being more diverse. Now, on the regular, when I just got here, I was like, man, you see about 3 Black people in the Walmart. If you lucky,
you can head nod every single one of them, and they know why you're nodding.
No, seriously. Even today,
I see you.
I love our people so much. So there was this cashier, and she basically pulled up. It's above me now, because some people were coming at her crazy about her closing the self checkout because they close out the far left end and leave the far right open at a certain time at night or whatever.
Every store.
Right, but they wasn't trying to Karen and them wasn't trying to hear that. So I had the girls back because she helped me earlier because some other workers there act like they didn't want, they locking up everything now, girl, the deodorant, the razors. Yeah. I'm like, how am I supposed to get shit and you ain't over here? But anyway, somebody was coming back at her crazy because she was saying, hey, this lane's closed. And she was like, it's the lane closed? She said, I said the lane's closed. And I'm there like, but the lady felt away because she was checking me and my friend out. And she was like, I'm going to take y'all last. You don't have to know that she said that to us. You know what I mean? And I can get how it looks, but to get an attitude with the girl for doing her job was just crazy. So she was like, I said the lane was closed. I said what I said. These lanes are closed. And she was like, well, you need to put up that sign or change the light on it. And she was like, you need to go find somebody else to check you out. I was like,
dang.
Yes. So the rest of the night, we're just like, these lanes are closed. Like,
wow.
I loved her getting there because that's all you deal with. There's a lot of workers, and I think you all maybe have noticed this in one way or another. When I go to Walmart or when I go to a Cavalier game or something like that, I see us working these booths, working stuff that's more customer service.
I was just going to mention that.
We're in those positions of serving. And I still feel like that creates a dynamic of slave and slave owner. Because you think you can talk to me, however, because I'm a worker bee. That don't mean shit. Just because I work here doesn't mean you can talk to me however. And it happens every time. I've experienced it in fast food.
Me and my girl went out. We went downtown Dallas to like a predominantly white neighborhood that have, of course, high-end brands in that little shopping area. And what she said like stuck to me too, because she was like, because I was talking about knowing somebody there. And she was like, well, shit, I know somebody working somewhere all the time, because that's literally what we do. Is we've been worker bees the whole time. And that just reminded me of an article that I just read about Louisiana. This guy went and like did a vlog on the Capitol and the general's house or something like that. And they were talking about how all the workers there are prisoners. And it's like a privilege to work on very low pay inside of these mansions.
What the fuck?
And the courthouses and things like that. So they would be like the janitor and people who cook, but they're all prisoners on their way out or on like low crime probational stuff. You know what I mean? But they're not making money. They're just doing it because they can be out of the jail cell. That's why they're doing it. But the way it looked though to him, the guy who was reporting, the white guy, he was like, I did not realize that this new form of slavery was still happening. Because to keep the costs low and to keep money in their pockets, they've been using prisoners for decades and decades and decades after slavery was abolished and segregation was done with. So they still kept the same setup, just called it something else.
Well, that's what a lot of people aren't understanding now while people are still upset. Because it's easy to say, well, slavery is not taking the same form. And it's like, it's different. And I know you can understand that. If you can understand the timeline of Game of Thrones, surely you can understand that this is fucking different.
It's not the same when it's not fiction to some of these people.
That's another thing that pisses me off. Some people understand this clearly when you're watching a movie like Zootopia, or you're watching fucking, what's that shit called with Orlando Bloom on Amazon? And they're like talking about these fairy and these mutated
people. I haven't watched it, but yes.
Yeah,
Carnival Row. Yeah.
Or even the comic book X-Men was basically based off the same thing.
The same
X-Men
shit.
Are us. They're people of color.
Even kids movies like Ants.
Yeah.
If you actually listen to what's happening there.
And people will watch that and be upset and then leave the movie theater like, oh, well. And I'm like, it's the same thing.
I think my favorite one was Avatar. And when I used that as like a comparison, people were like, what do you mean? I was like, literally native people's lands were taken. And like all these colonizers came. I was like, literally, that is our story. Y'all like have no problem watching this shit and understanding that the colonizers of that movie were bad people who took all the things, but you don't know that your ancestors were doing the same shit. Like
they don't want to believe it, I guess. I don't know.
By the way, if you guys are wondering, D is frozen. He's texted me.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, is he? I was wondering.
I thought he was just quiet.
Oh my god! Because I stared and I was like, "He's not blinking."
That is so funny.
He's not blinking or moving.
He did. He texted us. Oh my god!
So apparently, mine was T-Mobile earlier. So Cox is having a situation with their internet too.
Oh, he said this is so embarrassing.
Hopefully he'll get back on. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna keep moving forward. I'm sorry, D. Oh, here he is! Yay! I told him he is his phone.
Do we have 2 Ds for the price of
No,
one?
we're gonna stop the video I'm fixing it. Hold on. There we go. Sorry, guys. I don't know what just happened there. Well, we'll let him be. D-Chan, you back?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We just can't see you. So,
oh no.
That's okay. At least we can hear you for now. Oh, there you are. There you go. You were frozen in a way that nobody else knew that you were gone. I was the only one that noticed.
It looked like you were really listening. And I was like, you might as well have been frozen like,
I was like, he's not blinking. And that's why I went to check my phone to answer you. I was like, he's frozen.
Yeah, it was bad. We're having connectivity issues here in Vegas for whatever reason. T-Mobile's down.
It's all over.
Cox cable is down for whatever reason. That's who my internet provider is. So
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so my other question. Let's get back on track. So, with the Black businesses happening, do you have a certain I don't know, I guess any ideas on how to grow your business in that sector? Because I feel like a lot of focus is moving that way. Even companies, I saw online somebody said businesses catering to Blacks like we ain't been, we just showed up. Like
exactly. So like right now it's just getting your name out there.
Okay.
Out there. Whether you have Instagram or Facebook, just go ahead and jump out there because everybody's looking for us.
Do you think that would help your business too? Because I feel like it will in a situation like this, because I feel like most of us are tired of growing other people's businesses that's not for us. Like I boycotted so many brands. You don't even know. There's so many brands I had to boycott. And like even though my kiddo, like she got like one of her friends got her Jeffree Star fucking eyeshadow palette. And you know, the nigga in me wanted to throw it out in the trash, but the mom in me let her keep it. So, you know, because it's her friend who got it for her, and the kids aren't as I guess involved and intense about these things yet. I think she's working on it.
They're easy. They let stuff go easier because they'll let stuff go on the premise of yes, this person said this or did this. Yes, it's on video, but they also did a 30-minute video explaining and apologizing. They're different. Right. So as long as the apology comes in vlogging form, the kids nowadays are fine.
They're cool. Is the only problem is like for me, like Jeffree Star has made that 30-minute apology like video like so many times now. An explanation. Like he just that cremate eyeshadow palette that just came out with the pandemic. I was like, I understand you had it. You explained yourself, but timing is still, you didn't need to fucking bust that out this year. You just didn't need to do it. Yeah, remember? We talked about it. We were
not gonna lie though, the palette looked amazing. The palette,
first of all.
It did. It looked cute. It looked cute.
But it was all shades of fucking shadows. Like I don't know. And you would think my gothy self would have like at least loved the colors, but I think I was just so grossed out by the fact that he still went ahead and put that fucking palette out in this timing and being so tone deaf that it just
it was a little out of place.
Well, that's also what happens when you live a super gay privileged life, because when you're that level of gay and you're like entertaining, you get this protection around you. Not like how they isolate the others. You're entertaining, you're being that gay that they can accept. So then you get privilege from that, and then you're white, so you get privilege from that, and then it's just layered on top, and then your money, because he is paid. So you're tone deaf to a lot of stuff because of those things, and then you're not trying to tune into it. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Quick question for everybody: do you guys like make it a point to do like shopping at Black businesses? Have you always done that, or have you amped it up recently?
I eat at a certain restaurant that's fairly new. I'm not going to name the name of the restaurant, but I will put it among the list of restaurants,
places to go.
Here in Vegas that are Black owned. It's not that great, but I go there because
to support.
Yes.
Sorry,
dude. You still gotta like choose the right ones. I feel like
because it's new and because I'm not gonna say it's not that good. It's not that consistent, and I think because it's so new, and
they're still working on it. Okay,
they're still working on it. So
I get that.
I think they deserve an opportunity. So that's why I still continue to go.
I'm down with that.
I honestly think I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but a lot of my family has told me like, D, you could do a better job because it's a fusion place. It's fusion.
We know you can, D.
Pretty much.
And Black fusion. So I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's my name. That's who I am.
Yeah,
that's my soul.
You're basically blazing.
That's
hey.
You know what I'm saying?
No, seriously, like little secret here, because you guys know I'm Blasian, but my favorite egg rolls that I make has been adopted from Dee's recipe. I added a slightly more, a couple of things, but it's the egg rolls that he made me in San Antonio that I gave to my mom as a recipe as well. So my mom's rolls are Dee's egg rolls.
It's in the family.
Yeah, that's so family.
Cute.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, D, when people tell you that your shit is great, like it's great. Like my mom made it and my dad would eat it as well. So it's not like just your family and friends telling you. I'm telling you, if you open a place up, niggas will be in there tearing it up. I'm just saying. Like,
well, thank you.
And they can't wait to support a Black man. So.
I know.
What about you, Doritos, Dorinda?
Brandy already knows this. So there was some things going on in my town, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm supporting Black businesses. So I messaged Brandy in February. I was like, I'm done. I'm going straight to Black businesses.
Wait. You can't gloss over what happened.
Yes, she can.
That's the part that we need to know. Have you heard our podcast? Have you heard our...
So, long story short.
Yes.
I'm more involved in my town. I used to work a corporate job for 10 years. Busy. I finally can get into my town and do a little bit more.
Okay.
And I started going to the town hall meetings. And our town is a mess. It's a mess. It's a black and white thing. It's just a mess.
Okay.
So I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? What I can do right now is just support Black businesses.
Gotcha.
So I told Brandon, I was like, I'm going straight Black businesses. I'm looking for everything. Toilet paper, paper towels, anything I could get my hands on. I wanted Black businesses. So for this to happen now, I'm in heaven because all the Black businesses are highlighted.
I'm
so
nice.
Any Black business that's out there now, you gotta just put your name out there.
I think
link
so.
Out there. So it's good. It's a good time right now.
It is a good time right now.
I wasn't like before this. I would do it, but it wasn't something that I was doing intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And then with my ex, anytime when we were together, he'd always be like, "Hey, I want to go to Black-owned restaurant, and I want to go to Black-owned this, just to like see." And he was intentional about it.
Mm.
So then I adopted that because I just got so used to it with him, and I'm like, well, I like to be intentional about it too. So really, for like the last 3 years, if I can purposely go to a recreational, spot, like a jazz club, like Dorinda mentioned, or if I can go somewhere where the place itself is not Black owned, but they have the Black owned products, like the honey pot products at Target, and just paying more attention to that, going online like crazy, because Instagram has fabulous stores for hair and body and like the shea butters, like all this stuff. These women, because there's so many Black women, there's Black men out there too, but these Black women, I see why we are leading and just being entrepreneurs, because they are out here killing it. So to see them easily come up with, hey, I got a makeup brand now, or I literally, all my makeup now is Fenty Beauty, and I used to be like NARS and doing this and that, and I'm like, if it's Black owned, I'm gonna go to it first. But I did think about this today before I got in the shower, which was a weird time to even think about it. But I was like, so many people are willing to give up on Black businesses after having one bad experience. But we don't do that with a lot of white businesses. You go to one bad Olive Garden or one bad whatever, and you're not like, fuck all these Costco's because this one sucked. No, you give them another try. And I'm like, do that with Black businesses, because we're already operating sometimes off a deficit because we don't have the access to some quality stuff like the rest of these people do. So they're already kind of like having to do the most just to get half of what somebody else started, hitting the ground running with. So it's like, just work with them. Just work
definitely.
with them.
That's definitely something that needs to be highlighted. But I'll tell you one, I don't know if it's a white business, but fuck fries. Fuck fries.
That's what D was.
Experience, and that was one enough.
You know what? Fries has not been my favorite either. I think that's across the board.
What's
across
that?
the fucking board.
It's an electronic shop. It's a Best Buy.
It's like a Best Buy.
It's like a Best Buy.
But I'm going to Best Buy instead of fries from now on. I will be at Best Buy.
You know what's crazy? Right now, minority women have more than half of the self-started businesses in the U.S. right now.
Yeah,
and so,
that's about right.
Yeah, it's time, I think, it's not just for women, but I think because there's even less space for females of color to be in any sector. Like last week, we talked about how in the digital marketing world, it's only 3% out of the whole nation, 3% of women of color in digital marketing.
Like, and that doesn't mean only 3% know how to do that shit.
No, because there's so many more. It's just that they're not hiring more than 3%, which feels like affirmative action to me. So, there is that. But I think it's really important to recognize, like, within our own community, and I know other people have talked about it, even like Asian communities and societies, they have their own little panned out situation where they support each other, because that's why there's little Chinatowns and Japan towns and Korea towns all over our nation, but you don't have really like a area where it's just a bunch of Black people
and they
with
set
their
up
own
shop
economy
like anywhere effortlessly, because there's this great Netflix special that I think all of us would appreciate called Not Black Enough. Because I mean, not Netflix, Amazon Prime.
I'm about to watch it.
All these it's so good. You'd love it, because they give everybody's perspective, from the super pro Black people that feel like if your dreads are a different color, you're dishonoring the motherland, to the people that are all mixed up. To the people that are mixed up, and they have Vanessa Williams up there because she was saying she was getting hate mail. They had my girl who was the first Black babe on The Price is Right, because I always wanted to be that girl. I did. But
I remember her.
I couldn't believe she was getting hate mail, because I saw her as Black and I was excited to see her, and she was getting hate mail.
Well, from our society?
From both, because that's what the whole premise of that documentary was about. Not Black Enough on Amazon Prime was like, I'm getting hate, not just from the white people that most of the time they're like, you're colored. We don't give a fuck if you lighter or darker, you color, right? And then amongst your own people. And the beginning of it was beautiful, because it had these kids that couldn't have been like, age range probably maybe like 10 to maybe 5. And they're like, hey, if you had to take a test or you had to do something to prove you're Black, like what would that be like? What would you do? And that's how it started. And it was just so good. I cried so many times watching it.
I need a box of tissues for that.
No, you will, because the beginning got me, because just to see, hold on, because let me get my life together. Just to see a girl who looked like she was like 12, and because of how she spoke, because how she sings, and she liked to play violin or whatever, you know, the white people shit. And to have, she said her grandma would be like, you know, you need to have that baby like in church so she can get some more soul in her voice. And it's like, fuck, that's just how she sings. And she sound like a little Disney princess. She sound like a Disney princess. That doesn't mean white. But anyway, I loved it. I think everybody should watch it, but especially those of us who grew up hearing, you know, oh, you talk like a white girl, or you're not Black enough because of your skin color, or your hair, or what you're into is just too white. Yeah, it was it was rough to say.
I mean, like, I was just talking to my friend Brittany, and she was talking about one of the Red Table Talks that Jada Pinkett Smith does, and she was talking about, she didn't realize that she was light skinned because everybody around her was like, but Jada, you're light skinned. And she was like, what? I'm Black. They were like, no, you're light skinned. And that's why you don't realize that you had some certain privileges that she didn't even understand. And then they were, I guess they were talking about like house slaves and field slaves. And they were like, if this was that situation, you would be in the house, but your daughter's darker, so she'd be out in the field. And she was like, gasp, like, because she didn't realize that she was light skinned.
And I can see, given how Jada grew up and who she grew up around, of course she's like, I'm fucking Black as fuck.
Yeah, but see, I don't think that she understood when she did things like that band that she had. Like, that was my shit, because I'm like, oh shit.
Wicked Wisdom.
Wicked Wisdom. There's a brown fucking girl singing rock and roll, and it's not like some posh fucking foo-foo shit. There's like heads coming out of the ground. She's fucking flying like a fucking witch.
She definitely was flying all in the videos. And her hair was bomb. Her hair was bomb.
That thing like stayed in my brain for so long, because I had such a hard time. Like, I had a lot of Black girlfriends in school, but nobody dressed like me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody dressed like a Black girl. Everybody wanted to look like Aaliyah and all of those guys. My ass was like in, what was that fucking brand? Dickies. I was wearing like Dickies and like shit you would find at like Hot Topic. Like back in the day, I would go and find an Okie and wear it.
The old school Hot Topic.
Old school Hot Topic.
Not the new one.
Not the new shit.
The new one sucks.
From the 90s. Now then, I will say, if you're into nerdy stuff, some of the nerdy stuff is good at Hot Topic.
Oh, their t-shirts are grade A. Their t-shirts,
they're
grade
skirts.
A.
They're skater skirts. I won't hate on them because I was part of their brand for a little while. But, you know, and shit like that, it's so hard. And I think this week I'm going to go back. I've been thinking about doing it and grab all the Black bands that never get play in our culture either.
Yeah.
You know, like, nobody knows who Block Party is when I talk about them. Like, right?
Put them out there.
That's just, nobody knows who like Bad Brains is and things like that. So, because
or there's this really eccentric group I think they're called Anime. They're bomb.
Yeah. See, there's like nobody knows about them though.
They're bomb. They did that Caroline song. I don't want to sing it because I don't want to get us in trouble, but
it's too late. We always get in trouble for that. I have to put a disclaimer up anyway.
No, but they're like, you know, really quirky, different.
Or like, even
side note, I don't know why people were giving Willow a hard time. If you knew what her mama was into, Willow makes fucking sense.
Perfect sense. She's
Willow
so
makes perfect sense.
Oh my god, both of those kids make sense coming from those two parents. I don't
know. Oh my god, Jaden is so his daddy's son. It ain't even funny. Like, that's you, your daddy's son.
But they're so mild in comparison. That's the crazy part. Both,
you know what? And the other thing
mild.
Is, did you? I don't remember. Did you post it, Brandy, about the Black cosplayers and the shit that they have to go through? And
I did.
I think we should find some Black cosplayers because we have some that follow our page. I think I'm gonna.
I know. I saw
I'm
that.
gonna go feature that. I've been following them on purpose.
Yes.
So
I got some here in Vegas. So I'm gonna ask.
And Dorinda did a bomb Harley Quinn because I was pushing for it, and I'm so happy she did.
You did a bomb.
I haven't seen it.
She did Michonne. No, she did Michonne. She did Harley Quinn. It was, and she didn't even know who Michonne was. I was like, bitch, just do it. You gonna be bomb. She couldn't even walk like 5 feet.
We gonna need some fucking photos for
I'll send them. I'll find them. She got them.
Thank you.
She looked bomb.
On that note, we're gonna take a quick break and come right back, okay? We're gonna keep talking about this.
We'll be right back.
Right back.
An awkward angle for me, but we're back.
Uncle Angle.
Issues, so I have to resort to my cell phone, but that's besides the point.
Well, at least you're back on because that whole situation is weird right now.
Yeah,
I don't know what's
weird.
Brandy, you said you had a personal question for Dorinda. You can like
I do, because
hop
she's
off
like
with
a businesswoman.
Mhm.
And
Womans.
And since we both have bar jobs, I almost feel like it's a job, but it's not, especially since I love it, right? So when you love what you do, it just doesn't feel as taxing. But since you are kind of like, you might as well 100% be an entrepreneur. Do you want a guy that's kind of like that too? Because a social media star went viral basically saying, since she's doing that, she doesn't want a 9-to-5 guy. And the backlash was crazy.
It was crazy.
That backlash was harsh, but I understood what she was saying. And like anybody's preferences, you have a right. So is that like a thing for you? Do you want a guy who's kind of got that hustle like you?
He has to have a little bit of hustle like me. If anything, be able to support me. He can still do his thing. If he wants to work his 9-to-5, that's fine. But I'm going to need some support.
Now, when you say support, do you mean financial support? Or do you want, that emotional, spiritual? I know support's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Emotional and spiritual. It doesn't have to be money. I'm not big on the guy having the money and da-da-da-da. I mean, he needs to have some money, but I can do that on my own. Just support me, help me advertise, help me create a room that I can do my creativity in, or with my mini. So, because having a creative mind, you think all the time, you have all these ideas, and if you have that going on, you have work going on, you have your kids going on, your brain is just like, I'm tired.
God, me and Dorinda the same person.
So somebody that can support in that kind of way would be good.
It's rough, dude. Get you somebody who will fold pamphlets right before you have to go to an event. That's what you need to get.
Yeah.
So sounds like you guys want an assistant.
But do you guys think that'll like help or hinder if you had somebody that was also an entrepreneur? Like, do you think that might get in the way of your success because they're so concerned with theirs that they might not be able to support as much versus somebody that has a 9-to-5 and that's their focus and then they just want you to succeed on your end? Do you think that could be not necessarily?
Well, in my previous relationships, our interests have always been kind of the same. So we can kind of lean off of each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe he can draw. So he can draw pictures and I can put it on t-shirts or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Usually for me, it has been hand in hand.
So as long as it's not exactly the same things. And the only reason why I bring this up is because I remember on a previous episode, we were talking about how it was difficult for certain musicians to date another musicians.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that too. Actors and actresses that break up very often. Like I was just watching a show on the Japanese channel and they were talking about how, because they were both celebrities and one would be gone for like 6 months shooting a movie or something, and then the other has to take care of the children. But then if they get a job, what do you do with the children? You know what I mean? Like, for example, like Rob has a 9-to-5. Well, it's not like a 9-to-5. His hours are crazy though. It's like it's
more like a 9 to 9.
Well, no, his job. He starts working 7
9 to 9.
Disclaimer: we do not own the lyrics or melody or anything when these guys sing it. But no, like so he wakes up at like 5:30 and he'll be at work by 7, and then he doesn't get off till like 5 p.m. You know what I mean? Because usually if somebody who's like an 8-hour shift, if you go in at 7, you'd be off by 2.
Right.
But he's working till 5, 6 o'clock. So he already has long hours. But at the same time, because he's not doing anything entrepreneurial, most of my events or like, because I do a baking business, parties usually happen on weekends. When I do my fashion stuff, the events happen on weekends. So it kind of balances out for me personally, I think, that he's not doing something similar to what I have. Because then I would have to constantly be looking for somebody to watch the kids or, things like that. And then I think I would be tired of, like, I told Rob knows this. I tell him all the time, I was like, we can work together. I'm too pressed all the time. with things in my mind. That's why I was laughing when Dorinda was like this and that and this. Like, there's just so many things. Like, I can't.
There's just so many things.
I told you. That lyric is so
until that fucking song hits you different when you're grown. Like,
shout out to Leslie.
It really was so many things. And like, you're trying to keep it together on top of everything else. So it's nice to have somebody who understands, and bless his heart, because he's so much nicer than I am, because I go on rants and rampages all the time because I'm a fucking Scorpio and I'm passionate about the shit that
I like that she blames her zodiac sign rather than just she's a bitch. So I'm
what's your zodiac sign? Yeah, that's a great cop out. Love it. Best
my
cop out
zodiac
in the
sign
world.
is CJ. That's
My zodiac sign explains why I'm so much of a bitch.
I'm
Love
such a
it.
bitch. It's because I'm a Scorpio.
I'm just I get very passionate. I hate these motherfuckers right here. Every fucking episode. You think you'd be tired of doing this shit? Listen, Dorinda, next month will be 1 year of us recording, okay? And they have not let up, and I don't understand.
First of all,
like, y'all are so silly.
Talk about letting up, CJ. I remember between the ages of 13 and 18, you never let up. I take that back. 13 to what, 22?
But I was young.
No. 13 to 34. She don't quit. She don't get tired.
Did you know? Did you know?
CJ never stops criticizing you no matter how old you are.
It's constructive. Thank you.
Did you know she blames her toxic habits on her zodiac sign?
It's a way out. We're getting so many comments.
Use that way out, girl.
It's a way out. Like, I'm just saying, I'm just a passionate person, and
she
I get kind
sound like she lying.
I hate y'all. They really listen. If you're not watching this on YouTube, they are really leaning back and laughing their heads off right now, and I can't stand neither one of them. None of y'all.
Oh my gosh.
Stop.
Dorinda not even coming to the rescue or nothing. She's just laughing with
Poor Dorinda.
No, Dorinda, wait a minute. Dorinda, what's your sign?
Aquarius.
See, Aquarius, they like to stay out of
God.
stuff. They like to swim away from shit.
Listen.
So she ain't gonna save you.
I sit there and I listen. I don't move away.
She listen, but Aquarius is be fucking making up they fucking minds inside of their minds. Yeah. And then they won't tell nobody, so but they will make that decision and never fucking show up to your house ever again if you do something wrong.
Right.
See?
That sounds about right.
Listen, I know my horoscopes.
Done, right?
So she can tell the truth about everybody else's horoscope but her own.
What do you mean? Scorpios are passionate.
We need, we seriously need a zodiac episode. We really do. Because we have to discuss some things.
I'm just saying. So my dad was an Aquarius as well, so I already know what that's like. That's woof. Dorinda's really nice and loving and all of that, only to people she loves.
I'm like, she can be mean.
But she's not denying any of it. She just looked away for a second and smiled. So those all truths.
Yeah. I hold a lot of stuff in.
That's not healthy, Dorinda.
And that point is way up there. Like,
I know, but once that explosion happens and that firework comes down, it's not just fireworks that dissipate. It's like with pieces still falling on people, hot, burning them.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Burning, hot, black businesses, black businesses only.
Businesses burning hot. Scorpio
burning
power
hot.
activate.
That's how it happened. That's exactly how it happened to
Oh my God, I can't even get serious for nothing. We were supposed to have a serious episode.
On a serious note, getting back to her dating life as we try to pimp her out.
Yes.
I do find it interesting what you were saying, CJ, about a lot of celebrity couples that break up because they're talking about scheduling conflicts and issues. But in the celebrity world, you'll also hear people say they can't So a lot of them say they can't date a regular person because they need somebody that understands their life because they will be gone for 8 or 9 months at a time.
So the person, maybe.
I guess it makes more sense sometimes. Either those people that get together before somebody pops off and be famous, because then you already have that foundation, like Savannah and LeBron James. That makes sense. But if LeBron ended up single, it's like you need somebody of Beyonce level fame. Or at least maybe not that fame, but they can handle their business in that way. So they're not tripping when you gone for months at a time or whatever else case, because it's a lifestyle. So I think the same thing for you entrepreneurs. You're always busy. That creative mind is never not thinking.
It's forever.
And I don't even own a business, but just thinking how I'm always like, oh, costumes. I don't need somebody questioning, why do you have some of the stuff that I have around my house? Just because you know how it is. You just have certain shit out. Right. And you don't want nobody looking at you crazy. But I'm also like, well, this makes sense to me and my creative mind.
I just can't have somebody questioning me in my 200th like cookie cutter for my business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why you got 10 more paintbrushes for your fucking watercolors? Like, I need them.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Dorinda pulling the D. She's just pulling shit from corners.
Random stuff starts coming out.
Oh my God, look. Oh, you can paint too, girl. Look at you. See, I can't.
See, I hang out with creative people, okay, CJ?
Oh, wow.
Started a bottle.
Oh, that's so cool.
Art stuff all.
What in the Demetrius is going on?
Around it or something like that.
That's dope.
That's dope as fuck.
Dude, see,
we finna push her.
I feel like when you're creative like that, you crave people who are creative as well, and that's why you end up like being around them more often. Because when you're creative and you get around a bunch of people who are not, they look at you like you're crazy when you start talking about stuff, and they're like, you're doing what?
And then I know Demetrius talked about this on one of our earlier episodes, just how he sees auras and colors, and there's just so much you can imagine in your head. Like before I do a cosplay, I already know this is how it's gonna do. Even before cosplay, I know when the bar was open, like it was, I would already put in my head from wig to heels. I know the outfit in my head. Too, remember? Yeah, we can see it first. So you'll be out and maybe picking up something, and someone will be like, what are you going to wear that with? And it's like, I know.
I have
you just
an outfit
see
already.
all this creative shit in your head. And then I think the manifesting of it ends up being like the messy, crazy, frustrating, nutso part where you would want a partner to understand that I want your support, but I also want you to stay over there and don't touch
Oh my God.
And don't say anything. Exactly. That's
and don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Rob, are you listening?
Uh-oh, Rob. Dropping gems. Dropping gems, Rob. Take notes, baby.
No, like he's so supportive. And then sometimes I get real cranky because my creative mind just like loses it. I just lose it because there's so much going on.
You won't even want anybody to look at you doing something.
Oh my God!
Can you go?
Oh
Why are you watching me do this shit?
Yes.
Oh,
I've kicked my son out of the room so many times because he's like, "Oh, that looks good." I didn't fucking ask you. I need you to go.
Oh my God! Okay, I've never been so validated in my life right now. This moment.
She'll come around and she'll be like, "What are you working on?" I'll be like, why? What does it matter? I love you.
You know what I think it is? I think it's like having your creative focus broken. Yeah. And it's irritating when that happens.
I think
it's an energy. It's a flow that's coming out of you.
Of what CJ said, and I don't want you to see what I'm working on because I don't want to be misrepresented. Because this isn't the final product. So get the fuck out of here until I'm done. And I'll call you when I want you to see it. That's what it is.
Loud and proud. You can look at it now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Or you ever get mad? You ever get mad when somebody's asking you, whether it's with your painting or anything else, and they're asking you kind of like to explain it, and you're like, I can't explain this shit to you.
Right.
You know,
yes.
like I can't, because I'm going to say it. And let's say I do open up and explain it to you in my way and you just kind of give me I'm going to be pissed because I just gave you everything I had and you talking about, oh, okay. No, bitch. Not okay. I just gave you magic and you just blowing it off.
Don't single word text me in real life.
Oh my God. My mom is notorious for that. She'll be, my parents went from like kind of making, my dad more so, making fun of me for the costumes and the nerd thing, being like, oh, you know, you live in your mom's basement. I'm like, first of all, I live in mom's guest room. Second of all,
there's a difference.
There's a difference. I'm a classy one.
Oh, no.
But they would be like, I'd send them a picture of like maybe a concept or tell them, and they'd always hit me with the, okay. And I wouldn't, and it'd be so maddening. And then when they actually see the full thing, it's like, oh, holy shit. But I felt like holy shit from the time I thought of it.
I mean, it's
the
because
fact that they're not on that same page, it's like,
it's very hard to relay the details of our mind. I think that's what it is. And like, because you can't just really, you know what I mean? Because like, for example, I sketch terribly when I'm making cakes and cookies because it's just a sketch and I'm not putting time into it.
You know what you sketched.
Yeah, but I know what I sketched. So my final product, yeah, I sent you guys the final product. If you follow my baking page, you'll be able to see it sometime this week as well. The pseudo baker, thanks. But my sketch is like literally just colors and shape, and then my finished product will have everything on it, like. My superheroes cake that I made this week was like
gorgeous.
Thank you. You know, I can't say the actual name because I have to call it a superheroes cake, but it's our recent. It starts with the A, ends with Jers.
Rhymes with Avengers.
You know, but like, so my sketch was literally the number 4 with like colors cut out on it, and I had a circle where it said like, you know, the Metal Man. I can't say his name, and then like. The captain of the USA on this side, and
Native American man. Captain Native American.
So terrible, but you know what I mean. So I hate sending that to my customers because then my customers are like, okay, like they're kind of okay with it, but I feel like they're not sure if it's gonna come out that way. So I always have to end up like sending them pictures of things I've done as well. Mm-hmm. Because if not, they're gonna look at that sketch and go, "What the fuck is this right here?" It looks like a 3-year-old drew it. Like,
because that sketch is not an accurate representation of what's going on in your mind. Kind of like how I remember how the notebook of dances.
Oh yeah,
me like, too. What the fuck? Yeah. Just a notebook of. I know what this shit means in my head, but if you be like, "What the fuck?" Kick slap. Punch,
kick slap.
Martha Stewart swoop. Like what? I know what Martha Stewart swoop means in my head. But you don't know. I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna
I can't remember who saw my notebook, my dance notebook, and I had like stick figure people with rounded hands and feet, and then we have like swoops like to the turn.
That's actually like super adorable.
I knew what they were doing. Those legs bent, those stick legs bent and shit. I knew what pose that was. And
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at Dorinda yelling at her mom, like, "Leave my project alone. Why are you asking me about it?"
I feel so bad for her, but she just be walking in at the wrong right moment.
Well, but you know what? Mamas understand that, because to me, I told my mom, it's the equivalent of when you in the kitchen cooking and someone's hovering over your ass and they talking about like when the food gonna be done or what you adding that in for or what are you making. Just hearing my son say, "What are you making?" and all I did was bring out some meat to thaw. It sets me the fuck off. It sets me off. I am going to
kill. Are y'all listening out there, husbands and wives that don't cook,
wives, kids,
girlfriends, boyfriends, whoever the partner is that don't cook, and
we
the children.
We trying to help you out.
Stop asking your mamas or whoever's cooking what they cooking. They cooking whatever the fuck you gonna eat that night.
It's annoying.
I hate that.
It's
I don't know why.
Or if you tell people, like, for people that got either somebody else in the household that goes with them like a kid, or if you got a big household, any child, really anybody, fuck that. Anybody asking me, where are we going? If you don't get in the fucking car, what do you mean, where are we going? Are you late for a meeting? You don't pay bills. You don't do shit. So why are you asking me where we're going? I just don't. I think we have a problem being questioned.
I think that's what, at the end of the day, that's the source of the problem.
At the end of the day, I do not like being fucking questioned.
Like, you know, I mean, seriously, because when they ask me about food, I just tell them I'm making food.
We blame it on art.
Yeah, it's a Libra thing.
We're artistic. No, we just don't like being questioned.
Don't like being questioned. And I do not know why that enrages me, because it's not even annoyance. I get so upset.
I get angry.
I think that was probably because we're all alpha personalities. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like, what the fuck you asking me for? Like,
Because I know Dorinda just
Your ass in this
smiling and
motherfucking
being
cookie?
nice and all, but I know she's probably like real scary when she get mad. Like, I feel like if you can go, look, if you can go toe to
Who
toe
did you
with
just look at? She
Brandy,
was like,
you made Brandy cry. I know you're an alpha. I'm just saying.
I told you she was being a bitch, and I'm very sensitive.
We don't even know why.
I'm very sensitive, contrary to popular belief. So, bitch.
like, you have sensitive teeth? Like, that's the only part that I would know of being sensitive of you. Maybe you can't bite into a fucking popsicle. Besides
that ice cream too cold.
Like the ice
My head, I get a head.
That's
I get
the
a
only
headache.
sensitive part you got to your fucking body. I get brain freeze. Like, what the fuck? Sensitive my ass.
For real. I ain't never heard her be sensitive. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe a long time.
You need some fucking Sensodyne. That's all you need. It'll fix that
does
shit.
not cover the personality, so.
Oh, no.
Just rub it on your forehead.
I can't. No, for real. Getting back on task because we went wayward as we always do. Is there like other things you want to try out besides like the businesses you already have, or are you pretty stuck on what you're working on right now?
I'm never stuck on what I'm working on.
She's not.
I've said it for years. I still want to open up like a dance studio.
Ooh.
Like I
We'll
have
be there.
my vision.
Okay.
It's there.
Can we go to your opening?
I stay fit and stuff. So when it's time,
with poles.
Yeah.
Yes. So you can't not say the pole part.
Like Zumba and
like everything
and different things like that. Like how?
Oh my God! Can you do a pole and paint? You know how they do sip and paint? A pole and paint.
You just mean like sliding down a huge.
Yeah, and every time you slide.
So you just dip a paintbrush and just spin, and it's like,
and then go around the pole.
Yeah, it's like canvas on the floor, and you make art. Like.
So when I was into pole fitness a lot in the upstate, we borrowed it's like a paint and sip, but it's with pole. What are y'all doing?
See this? See what I'm talking about?
I'm
You're trying to talk, and they just out here just all this.
I started poetry in South Carolina, and sometimes there'll be somebody there that's painting while somebody's polling.
Oh.
So I actually purchased a painting one time when I went back. I did one show, but I had to be incognito because I was working corporate. Y'all
yes. Just hide it up.
He did a painting during the pole fitness, so you could do pole, draw something.
That's kind of dope.
I think that's amazing. We would definitely support.
Yeah,
girl, get that thing started. Get you a GoFundMe. This is strike while the iron is motherfucking hot because people are out there wanting to purposely go out of their normal way to support Black businesses. So I say just do what you can and keep going because you are super talented. Yeah. I think anything you do, it really be hitting like in your shirt. Yeah. Oh my God.
So pretty.
Still not over it. So many great designs. Juneteenth, turn up.
Rush delivery available.
Yes.
Don't
you gonna pay? Yeah, you gonna pay.
Stop it. You just have to pay extra for rush delivery.
Yeah, you gotta pay extra, of course.
Like with anything. Girl. Unless you subscribe to her membership because she got like an Amazon Prime thing going on, but we gonna go ahead and put that together later.
Yes. Oh my God.
Look at her face.
Because now, Dorinda, we really have to talk about t-shirts for the Triangl and doing all of that.
And all of CJ's annoying ass sayings. I just want a list. I want a t-shirt that has like CJ's face on it and a list of all her shit she be talking on the back. Just like all the phrases.
Is it like the tour shirt, like the concert?
Yes, like a tour, like a concert. And it's like the know-it-alls. And it's like all her songs. Or we make like a CD that has like a track list. And it's like all the shit that you say. Like, did you know is the first track.
That's what I call bullshit. That'll be the name of the CD.
Yes, CJ. Now that's what I call bullshit.
Volume 1.
Why
are
you
guys all the same?
You guys are fucking terrible. Jesus.
That's a great idea. It would sell.
See, I like doing that. You come up with the idea and I design it up. We work together. We good.
There you go.
See?
Terrible. I don't
and
know.
All of the proceeds are going to CJ having a better fucking attitude. So
I'm gonna mute her now. I have the power to do that. Mute her fucking ass. Look at Dorinda. Try not to laugh too hard. Dorinda, it's okay. I'm used to it, Dorinda. It's okay.
That's the only reason we give it to her like that. If she couldn't handle it, we would never.
We're going to play a bunch of old videos of CJ talking shit, and it's going to be Sarah McLachlan singing over it.
Oh my God,
Like
yes! In the arms of an angel.
Oh my God.
With just 25 cents a day.
You can help change this bitch's attitude.
Can we please make that video happen? I feel like, no, Dorinda, put the phone down.
And
Don't
everything.
dial that one.
Yes, Dorinda, call it, and Dorinda, yes, girl.
She said, I'm about to call this 1-800 number and give her my
Everything's
25
like
cents.
in that slow motion in black and white.
In black and white.
God, so it's
And
just
it's
gonna
all
be.
the people whose feelings she's hurt that are like,
Oh yeah, like a list, like everybody.
if you've been
Why
personally
do you
victimized
guys
by
assume
CJ,
that there's a
it's
list
like-
available?
And then at the end, Rob comes in and he's just like, please, if you can.
And the kids in the background like,
And the kids in the background like that. And then Heather has to be like, I need you to help my mommy. Gotta say that boy.
she
I want
makes
my
me call her
mommy to get
Queen
better.
Mommy.
Listen. Oh my God. First of all, there's not enough people that I hurt to make a list with, okay? I don't know what the fuck. Why are you laughing, D?
The fact that you don't remember everybody
Dorinda, why are you
hurt.
hot? Why are you laughing so hard?
No,
She's
Demetrius.
fanning herself because she laughed too hard. It's
The
hot.
fact that CJ doesn't remember everyone she heard. Okay, Weinstein. Okay.
Damn.
Okay, Jeffrey Epstein.
Whoa.
Okay, Bill Cosby. We don't remember.
Damn.
We don't remember any of the victims.
Damn.
I'm finna get a whole bunch of people together and we finna real world her ass.
It's gonna be like intervention.
It's
like,
gonna be an intervention. It's gonna be surviving CJ.
oh,
Change.org. Change.org. If you were personally victimized by
Victimized by CJ.
you fucking mean girls? What is this? I can't.
Yes, raise your hand.
Oh my God. Why do you guys go in on people like that? So terrible.
Oh no, not
It's
people,
funny.
just you.
It's funny.
It's funny.
And anytime
Just
we
like,
do
it's
go in
funny.
on you, the people love it. We get
Like,
They love
I know.
it.
I
They eat
don't
that
know
shit
why.
up.
During the listeners like you don't help.
No, not listening like you. You see, Dorinda? Now you gotta pick a side, bitch, because you see how she came for you.
Or you could donate 25 cents a day.
For every t-shirt
Look at
Dorinda
her calling.
sells.
Dorinda's calling.
10 cents of the proceeds will go toward.
Yes, make that call,
There,
girl.
you guys, if you're listening, there is not a 1-800 number for this shit.
Not
They're
yet.
fucking
Not
around.
yet.
Not yet. Although a GoFundMe might be a good thing. We might do that. Just
We
like
gonna figure it out.
Oh my God, we have lost sight of our episode. We were talking about Juneteenth.
Got to go phone. Look, call 281-330.
First of all,
800
you know somebody out there listening to this is going to try to call that number. Y'all better stop.
Mike Jones.
If you don't know whose number that is, don't call it.
Don't call it.
Don't call
You're
it.
too young to listen.
Yeah, don't call it. Somebody's gonna try to call that fucking number. They'll be like, it's no. What if somebody picks up? Has anybody tried it?
I tried
never
it back
tried
when it
it.
was hot.
It
And
was.
it was a recording of Mike Jones.
Oh,
Really?
it was.
Yeah, he was like, what's going on? It's Mike Jones. I was like, shut the fuck up. And you can like leave him a message and shit.
What?
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
so
if he'd
dope.
call you back, but yeah, you could definitely.
Oh my
leave a
God,
message.
we should get some voicemails used. We need to start using our Anchor because people can leave us voicemails. Maybe we'll start.
Oh my God.
Advertising
We need
that.
to start, and then can we play some voicemail?
Yeah, we could play it. I could add it onto the podcast. That's really scary considering the people that listen to our show.
Oh, it would be hilarious.
It'd be hilarious. That's why we have to do it.
I'm
I'm
calling
just-
Mike Jones numbers. I want to see what happens.
Just terrible. No, it's
If someone answers, I'm cranking up.
before we wrap this episode up.
Oh, they made it a...
Oh, it don't work no more. She really called it though.
No.
I did.
Before we wrap it up, is there anything else you guys want to add about being black, being entrepreneurial, and all this stuff? Now they're quiet. Holy shit.
would say just keep going.
Yeah.
Just keep going. You're going to have people that turn their noses at you. They're going to be black people who be like, is this quality? Is this good? Da, 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 da. Just keep doing what you do. Do it to the best of your abilities. showcases.
Mhm.
One thing that I learned with doing direct sales is going to vendor events.
Oh,
Go
yeah.
out there. I'm not the most extroverted person, but
Mhm.
it helps you to talk to people and to get people to know you.
That was
Once they
like my
know you,
hardest thing to
good.
go to those events. Like
Because
fucking
nobody likes you.
bitch. Bitch.
It's challenging, but I've been to so many now. It's just like, oh, okay, set up, smile. This is what I have. You like it? Okay. They like you. You good. So
I can't believe that's hard for you to, but probably because I'm biased, because as much shit as we do talk on this podcast, I do love both of these women, and I feel like they're so talented and exuberant, and I gravitate towards them. So I find it
It's
interesting.
hard. You know what it is? I think you have to overcome, for me, especially personally, having to overcome the whole personal doubt situation is the biggest thing, because even
you're
people,
your own worst critic always.
It's like when we were just talking about Dee's food, and he was kind of like, oh, my food? But like, we're like, yeah, your food is fucking bomb, but obviously there's a tiny bit of something that's holding you back. You know what I mean? That it's that tiny bit of something that's holding you back, that's not letting you do that. Like, even with the side hustles that I had, it took me like 2 years to actually go and quit the last 9-to-5 job that I had, because I was not completely sure that I can make it happen. And it's rough, because making paper on just your talent is something that takes a lot of time to do and to like build up.
That's like jumping in fucking ocean with nothing. You don't have paddles. You
Absolutely.
Don't got no life vest. It's like, what? But you have what it takes to make it. But it's like,
right.
Fuck.
And I always respect those people that do that, because I know there is a stigma about people that either all they do is like run their own businesses, or maybe they do kind of like a half and half, and act. I don't think it's everybody, but those memes will go around that are like, oh, y'all don't understand because y'all 9-to-5ers or whatever. So it almost pits 9-to-5 people against.
I wish those people would
entrepreneurs.
stop
And I do
it
too, because
like
I'm like, I know so many people that run their own shit, and they're successful, but they had to give up so much, and they're working every day. It's not nonstop. Like, I can come home and I don't have anything else to do for my job unless it's overtime. When you're running your own business, that's your baby 24/7. If that shit ain't popping, you ain't eating. There is no backup plan, because you don't have another job. So I feel like by default, not that everybody's, all jobs matter. I get it. But I just feel like when you decide to do something like entrepreneurship, that's next level. There's no comfort zone, no safety net. That shit ain't for everybody, else everybody would be doing it. It's hard. So my hat's off to y'all. And when D does his food business, because he'll get out of that.
And when you start your cosplay thing,
oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know what, the other thing I was going to mention earlier, I totally forgot it, and it just came back. But like, the whole in our Black society of like businesses, the whole not enough clients for yourselves, I hope that stops soon. Like, I hope this will be the push we needed, so that people understand that there's customers and clients available for everybody at all levels of entry points. You know what I mean? Like, because I've seen so much, even like on like Facebook groups where I'm like following hair pages, or like restaurants where people dog each other because they, like you were saying, like that one bad experience for some reason in the Black society, they give them such a hard time with it.
It was
if it's not 100%
of each other,
or they don't even recommend them to somebody else. Like, maybe this wasn't for me, but I know somebody else who could rock with this.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not for me. And just kind of trying to put somebody on and just not completely giving up. Of course, I don't want anybody just to support a business that doesn't give quality stuff and that is also rude to you, because there needs to be improvement in those areas. But, if there's something that you can overlook and it was like a one-time deal,
for sure,
there's no reason not to go back or not to promote that.
And make sure you voice those opinions to people in management, or just even if it's like a sole proprietor, they might not know. So if you let them know, allow them to rectify your situation before you write a bad review, or before you just badmouth them to other people. Allow them to fix the situation first.
It's so easy to go on Yelp and Google reviews now and leave
terrible people things. Love Yelp. Like they be writing dissertations on Yelp, baby. I'm like, oh my God.
So here's my thing. If you're going to write something on Yelp and there was a problem and you allowed them to rectify it, put both. Okay, I had this problem and they fixed it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but
I
most
think
people,
that show off.
it's like anything in human nature. People always remember how they're treated instead of what's said, which means like whatever you feel, especially when it's not happy and it's negative, it's what sticks to you. That's why you don't hear like all the Karens that complain about stores when they have a good time at Target. Nobody's pulling a manager aside and saying that cashier was so helpful. You know what I mean? Like, it's shitty.
And
but
if you are a person that does that, more power to you.
yes, I
it
try
is
to
nice
do it too.
Because it does happen.
to do that.
Very rarely,
Yeah.
but it happens.
It happens.
Very,
And that
very
makes
rarely.
people's day. Go ahead, Dorinda.
Sorry. So I'm gonna backtrack just a little bit here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, y'all were talking about the 9-to-5s and they have their hustle and they're doing 9-to-5 also.
Yeah.
So for example, for me, I worked 10 years in corporate and I always had a side hustle.
Mhm.
But I did not let my corporate go because one, the money was still good.
Right.
And you know, I kind of balance both of them. But the thing is that I got let go of my corporate job,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't feel like I was just out in the water because I already had something started.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's not like I'm just completely out. What I do is just put all that rest of that energy towards that business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to have that 9-to-5 and to have that side hustle.
Mhm.
That side hustle
Right.
can be your crutch.
I think
Yeah.
there's this weird thing going on, especially with I call it personally the Gary V generation right now, where there's a lot of people who are going towards that entrepreneurial business, but if they look at statistics, only 1% survive still right now. 1% of the people who are starting businesses actually are viable.
And then
And
don't they say it takes like a year or two to really have a business start
Oh
popping?
no, it's 10 years to have
It's
a very
10 years.
10 years.
Oh, wow.
That's why it's 1% because
5
your
to
first
10. Yeah.
like my brother was even like he was like, I can't believe you actually got clients for your fashion business your first year. Like because his first 9 years he rarely got people. Like his 8th and 9th year he was like making a little bit of money. I'm talking like when his digital started off, his like top tier clients were paying like $500 or $600 for what he was doing, and he has now gone to like thousands per client. I don't think I can say how much right now unless he wants to.
It's
when he comes
okay.
on
He
the-
doesn't like his business put out there. So
Right. So, it's, and that's his business, not like, I'm not saying like pocket money. I'm saying like the business is making money like that. So in order for him to get there, he actually had like, I want to say almost 8 or 9, maybe 10 businesses that failed before he got to where it was. I might have to bring him back next week so he can talk about, I'm talking, he was like trying to sell energy drinks. He was trying to do delivery energy drinks before all this delivery shit was happening.
That's
Like,
crazy.
He was too ahead of his time that it didn't work.
That's why I like that episode because he talked about it. Like,
Right?
you have to have several businesses that just don't make it. Like, you have to go out there and put yourself out there.
Yeah. And although he's like typically on the same bullshit as his sister, one thing that really stuck out to me was when he was talking about like that 401k plan basically being a trap. And I remember like maybe 2 weeks later, I was like, this light-skinned nigga's on to something. Because I'm like, that is a lot of money sitting there. And if you invest that right, that could be your ticket out. So
Let's look at how many of us are trapped right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's really stuck with me. So Dan, if you listen or whatever, that shit stuck with me for real.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
he might be
some
on
real
to something with that. I'm gonna have to
like
reevaluate
a lot of
my
that
retirement
shit.
plan.
And he was, and like right now, all the businesses are so scared to spend money. Right now is the time to hit with your marketing, hit with your ads, talk to people, because the people who aren't doing anything because they think they're going to lose money are going to get even less money. That's why that 1% survives. You have to be outside of that box. What everybody else is doing, you got to be in the opposite corner of it. And it's scary when there's nobody else around. It's scary. It's scary to tell people your cakes cost a little bit less right now. Like, you can't do shit like that, because I've seen it on my baking groups where people are like, well, everybody's hurting, so I dropped my kits, like my cookie kits, $10 or $20, blah blah blah. But if you do that, the people who get used to that won't want to pay your $30 kits anymore. You know what I'm saying? So when this starts back up, they're going to be like, well, you did it for $10, $15 before. Why did you double back
honestly,
up?
when people, I know it ain't everybody, but typically people find a way to get what they want or see value in. They do.
I'm telling you.
That's why so many people, not saying to go into debt over anything, but that's why so many people
within
are
your
in debt,
means,
because Right. But because you'll pay for something if you really feel like you want it. You'll find a way to get that money for it. So keep y'all prices.
How
exactly
crackheads got money for crack? They don't even have a job. They got some. Listen.
There's a will, there's a way.
You know, they're gonna bust that thing open some way.
They're doing something. I mean, there's always a way if there's a will. Isn't that what they say? Like some shit like
There's
that.
a will is a way.
Yep. So, like, because here's the thing, like, people were like sending some people messages about cakes or cookies being too expensive, but the people who have the money to want the luxury right now are still paying for these cakes.
Yeah.
Like,
and so much so now because people miss that sense of normalcy that they had before all of this stuff happened. So they're willing to shell out the cash if they have it, even if Uncle Sam is providing it right now, to have a little smidget of normalcy. Like,
just for my example, so like you can go to Walmart and get a birthday cake with plastic like superheroes on it for like what, $10-15 probably?
A little bit more than that.
20, definitely more than that.
20,
but I feel
25.
what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So if somebody is willing to shell out $70 or $80 for a cake, it's because that's what they want. Like,
that's what they want. And they know the quality is going to be there.
Right.
And the flavor is going to be there too.
The flavor is going to be there. And then we are in a generation, for anybody who's listening, because I feel like Dorinda and CJ were giving great advice because they really do live this shit. But people are all about something that is IG worthy, something that can go on social media. So if your cake look bomb enough, it's going on social media. This t-shirt can't wait to tag the business. Like you gotta make it yummy for social media.
Because I mean, think about it. Like, so the cake I just sold is in the shape of a 4. It's for a 4-year-old. It wasn't for the kid. It was for the parents. If you think about it.
What are you talking about? It's always for the parents. What are you? We do this shit for us.
But what I'm saying is that 4-year-old don't know the difference between the Walmart cake and the specialized cake that came out of the pseudo baker. So
yes, plug.
But what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like it could have easily been a Kroger cake or a Walmart cake, but because that's what they wanted. She was telling me that she did a whole theme around the heroes. Like her whole house was done up. So I know this lady was willing to spend that much money because that's the luxury that she was after for this special occasion. So when people are like, "Oh, I'm going to lower my prices,"
making dreams come true, one party at a time.
It's true because I've even seen people like, well, why are you charging like $3,000 to set up a party? I'm like, but celebrities are out here throwing $500,000 parties for their 2-year-old.
Wait a minute, pause. That's how much you charge?
No.
I was gonna say. No, I was about to applaud.
Oh, the 3K is only if I do the full table. Everything.
I think that's great because I know we all appreciate aesthetically how something looks, especially because we're all like foodies. So I'll see Dorinda making her vegan stuff because y'all the same person. Y'all
we do. We make vegan.
So she'll put her stuff up there.
She sent me witchy things too the other day.
Yeah, so it's about how it like looks. No, so those tables and stuff, it's aesthetically pleasing. The stuff tastes good. I really don't question the price because you're paying for that experience.
That's the thing. Like I forever see people talking about using like Walmart butter in their cakes, and I was like, I can't.
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
I don't understand your accent.
Mine is Earth Balance all the way, guys. Just so you know, Earth Balance. Like there's.
When I make macaroni, I use Gouda and Asiago.
See?
Ooh, yes.
It has to be smoked Gouda and Asiago. Fuck a Velveeta. I can't do it.
No.
It has to be.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had like processed cheese because it's like it has to be real
gross.
Shit,
real
or
cheese.
It has to be like because Dorinda purposely, I think she did this to try to turn me out. She left some of her vegan stuff in my refrigerator.
Oh, it was Dorinda that left all that stuff.
That was that word. So when she went back home, I was like, my refrigerator, this bullshit. We ain't finna eat this. Then I remember hitting her up probably a week or two later, like, girl. So it tastes just like real blah, blah, blah. Like I was so excited.
You just gotta cook it right. And
it was really good.
People don't realize you could just cook it right. Like, but that's the thing. Like my other business, my fashion thing where I go into people's closets and like redo their fucking outfits or closets. Not steal.
Joanne the scammer.
No.
gonna have to beep that out so nobody knows my real name. Goddamn it. Just no, seriously. Like, so, like, one of the last ones I did, I haven't put too much effort into that because I'm running this podcast thing more. I feel like is my thing now. But one of the last ones I did, my mom was like, "You charged how much?" But this lady, I probably worked in her house for like 6 hours, and outside of that, I probably went shopping for a couple of pieces that she wanted, including like a jewelry armoire and things like that. And it was like a almost $800 job in 2 days. So like when people are actually looking for those things, it doesn't really matter. And I would have never thought she would be into that. That's why you can't like fucking judge a book by its cover. Especially in Texas. They'll be in dirt, knee high,
Texas.
but then they have like fucking ranches and stuff that, you know, in a limousine company. And here come my little one. She don't listen. Okay, good night, baby. But you know what I'm saying? So, and to my point of that is that I think a lot, we're so consumed with all of the other things we were taught to believe as Black communities that we kind of adhere to it. And that's why we're so pungently like rude to other businesses when you have a business or you go to places and things don't work out right. You know what I mean? That everybody expect everybody to be like a target. You can't do that. Especially with
really
I will say I become unglued when it comes to the customer service thing because I give tip-top customer service, always have. I'm very polite, I'm personable, I treat everyone the same.
Well,
if I go somewhere and a motherfucker want to come at me crazy,
that's
I become.
I will say
write
that the other reason
to the
for that is like the being humbled by the things that you do and being appreciative of having clients and customers is also very important, because if you don't feel that way, you come off what Dee is saying, doing all of that rudeness and stuff, because they can take their money somewhere else. You know what I mean? Right. There's like, just in Mansfield, I Googled, there's like home bakeries like up the yin yang here. But if somebody's choosing to spend their $100 here with me to make this, like, to have this cake for a kiddo, then I'm gonna put my blood, sweat, and tears into it, so it'll be worth their $100. And not to mention, like, last couple of cakes, like this one was a word of mouth, and the one before that was a word of mouth. That means that as long as you produce quality, it'll just keep going. It's like Dorinda's too, like word of mouth.
Your money is gonna, like, you just being kind and having quality.
Yes.
It's that money is gonna make more money for you, because these people are gonna do the work for you. You ain't even gotta like do too much when you have at least a few people that are like, hey, I may not need anything continuously, but I'll tell somebody else. And then you can have that rolling revenue coming in, because you're not a fucking asshole. One of
the clients that I had ended up being somebody, I didn't know their connection, but she had her because I had taken a party cake under my wings, and I actually gave it away to the person who needed it, because she was trying to start her own business. And I was like, I'm not even going to charge you. But you know what happens when you do that? Fucking shit comes right back to you. And then you end up having 3 more clients from that one party, because 3 people there had your fucking cake. And they were like, shit, where's her fucking card? And they end up contacting you. You get more back when you give more. You know what I mean? That's so the biggest thing. And I think a lot of people forgot that too. Like, it's so sad. I hate reading some of the Facebook posts. I really do. But anyway, anything else for the last minute before we go? I know I keep saying that. We do need to wrap it up. But
yeah, I'm good.
Are y'all done going in on CJ? We done?
Never
we
done.
For the day.
No.
We done
well,
for
at
the
least
day?
for the next couple of minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, till we do our next episode in a few minutes. Well, then, if you have enjoyed our episode thus far, make sure that you subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you like and comment, hit that notification bell.
Hit the button.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, check out Dorinda's Juneteenth.
Check out Dorinda.
Come on.
I love that shirt. I really do. I need one in my life. So I'm going to have to go check the website out. I'm going to make Rob wear it too. By the way,
this is what the shirt makes you feel like.
God, this is every fucking episode. Just Dorinda, I see.
Yes,
I see what this is.
Dorinda.
I'm just gonna keep talking, man.
It's 04.
You doing your video now.
Terrible. Oh
that's
my God.
the part you edit, D. That's the part you edit.
Look at him.
Make it go in slow motion.
I'm done. Anyway, so check out all our episodes. Our Triangle episodes drop on Thursday every week at noon Central. If you're into current events, we have a funnier episode that we talk about real events around the world. It's our lowbrow news on Mondays at 9 a.m. Central as well.
They do it like this in Japan now.
Stop doing. You did that last time too. That's how they count. They overlap. They don't go like
they overlap. They don't do this.
Anyway, on that note, stay woke, stay blessed, logical, and safe. If you're Black, stay Black. If you're not, support POCs and allies unite. We'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.